the process.
If you are not at the table taking decision, then you will be the menu on the table.
One of the way you can actually see opportunities when you begin to see problems.
Arise Africa, showing live Fridays 10 a.m. with repeat broadcast on Saturdays 9 a.m. West African time on the African Broadcasting Network.
Hello there, welcome to Arise Africa. I'm Boye Mark Anthony, and with me is no other person than the delectable Chichi. The lady in red.
I've actually missed that introduction for some time now.
How was your week?
It's been splendid. It's been a highly exciting week so far.
Mine has
How
been
was
a
yours?
bit tiring. I don't know. I'm just stressed and all. I need to be
dear.
pampered, you know.
You need
after
to be
my
pampered.
birthday, after my birthday.
After your
last week.
birthday.
So it's like I had a cake hangover.
Yes. I said I was going to give you the gist. Just wait for it at the end.
Okay, at the end.
If I will remember.
All right,
All right,
it's
so
so
we
great.
thank you so much for joining us today. So we're going to go straight to newspaper review, and we're going to have to see what has been trending on the papers, what the papers are saying. And we're going to begin with Sunday Punch, and it says Buhari to endorse favorite among Oshibanjo, Amechi, Tinubu, others before primary. And that story is on page 3. And you got over 100 feared killed. Vehicles raised as illegal refinery explodes. In Imo, the story is on page 4 of that newspaper. That's a very unfortunate.
Very
unfortunate. I saw a
pathetic.
video of
Very
the people
pathetic.
that were roasted alive, and it's not something
Crazy.
you want to see, like traumatic. We were kidnapped by Southerners, handed over to Fulani for ransom negotiation by Yelsa-based journalist Osahon. The story is on page 40, and we have more up there. Buhari, Tinubu governors, monarchs mourn as allies at 83 buried. Wow. A very sad one for the Oyo people.
I feel so sad.
Very, very sad.
I really love the man because of what I do not really succumb to a lot of stuff that he does, but he's a king, so he can do a lot of things. But he has a lot of courage. The way he lived his life, I think, it's a great one.
So I think it's mostly political stories there. That's Sunday Punch. So let's check out other stories on the next newspaper.
All right, we move on to Monday, the Guardian newspaper for Monday, and then it says how inflation. Naira free fall jack up 2023 election budget by 115 billion naira. Wow. You can't overcome insecurity without involving women. Kagama tells government. Extreme poverty puts Nigerians under intense pressure, says Professor Arulogun.
That's absolutely true.
Yeah,
Very true.
I think everybody knows what's actually wrong with the country, but except probably the government.
And it was World Malaria Day.
Yes, over the weekend, and you know, it said Nigeria records 200,000 deaths, loses 646 billion naira yearly to malaria. Wow, that's a very big number. 200,000 deaths, that's huge. I think we need to really do better. All right, I think we'll move over to the next paper.
Okay, so the next paper, it's This Day. It's Igbo's turn to produce president in 2023. Afenifere MBF Pandef insists. Declare Yoruba's presidential bid inelegant. Says unfortunate Jonathan allowed himself to be disgraced. and that's the major header for the paper. And we saw presidential ticket. Let all go to national convention, says PDP Northern leaders. All right, great. We'll see more.
There's so much stuff to be said when it comes to this politicking. I do not want to make my comments. I want to reserve my comments, but I have so much to say.
I don't play chess, but it's as if I hear chess is like a complicated game where this one takes a step, the other one wants to match it, the other one I don't play it, but I think that's how the game is.
Yes,
so
that's what is happening. We're just all observing, and it's only the two persons there that knows how crazy the battle is. You just see them moving cards and all, what's it called, the pawns and all that, the kings and all that, but there is real battle that is being won there. And when it comes to, it's so painful that these guys come up with different strategies every day. Now the northern leaders want it to be thrown open, but the last time when they were zoning, everybody said zoning, so let's zone to now it's supposed to be zoned down this way. Now no, they should not zone anymore, but it's their own problem anyways.
Yeah, so we'll go
move on to the next paper, please. All right, the Tribune, Nigerian Tribune, and then it said DSS alleges plans to bomb worship relaxation centers. Wow, that's a serious call. And then it says terrorists release fresh pictures of abducted train passengers. Now this is really serious. And then AFDB support will help Nigeria to produce 9.5 million tons of food, additional says. Then that's African Development Bank actually. And then Kanu, Ogun, Oyo, 4 others to benefit from such support. And it's a good one because agriculture is something that we should really take seriously. And then down there you see Obaseki at inauguration of 2 bus terminals in Ibadan. Obaseki comments Makinde, says governance should be to empower masses. Why we built bus terminals, Makinde. Those stories are in page 4 of the Nigerian Tribune. 50 corpses given mass burial after Imo illegal refinery explosion. Then Zenith Bank retains position as Nigeria's best in global finance best bank 2022. There's so much I want to say about banks, but we'll go on to the next paper, Chichi.
So we have the Punch newspapers for today, Thursday, and it says more commissioners step down as Buhari's ministers refuse to go. The story is on page 2, and it says Governor Tambuwal's 11 commissioners SSG chief of staff resign. Amosun join presidential race. Yahaya Bello Nwajuba pick forms. I want to resign, says Ngige. NLC flays campaigns amid ASU strike. That's electoral act. That's sub-stories under that. And you have Lagos traders protest shooting of businessmen. Killer cop celebrator disappear. Okay, so I don't know what those pictures are about, but they look really attractive.
Please to Seme as Lagos wife gives birth to quadruple.
I saw that story. I saw very interesting.
And then fire got a TB Joshua's property destroyed tomb shelter. And it's a very crazy
10 dying Legacy Baden road crashes. FRSC blames speeding.
Yeah, it's always a problem. Speeding.
I really think it's mostly about the roads. The roads are so terrible.
Now you know
the roads are so bad. You're driving through the roads and it's as if everything has gone down, like potholes.
I agree.
In fact, there are some that are even death traps as far as I'm concerned.
They are actually. Nigerian roads are actually death traps.
No one seems to be taking responsibility.
That's why you as a road user, you have to be careful. When you know the roads are bad, then you have to drive with caution. You get my point? Because now who is dead is dead. You get my point? So when you are not saying, oh, the roads are bad, yes, it is bad, and we know. So drive safely and save your life, and don't.
The way we're talking about this, the way the roads are so bad. There are some that, especially for roads, you don't even know. There are some that I can even show you a particular place in this city where the hole is wide at the middle of of the tarred road, the middle, you have one big hole. So what about if it rained, for example,
when it does,
and you have that the place is flooded,
yeah,
and you don't know, and you think it's a normal
place,
tarred road, and you're driving. I was going past that road, and I was telling the person driving me, "Be careful, oh! Turn to the right, oh! Stay on this side of the road." What if you didn't know?
So that's the thing. So let everyone be careful. Let's be careful, especially because it's the rainy season now, and you just actually made a very valid point. A lot of the roads are bad, and water always covers the road. All right, let's go to the other paper for today. Yeah, it says power sector, FG sinks more funds despite low performance. Then Fayemi Amosun Nwajuba entry swells APC presidential aspirants. And then 14 years on, Lagos Airport awaits runway lights to end blackout. Wow, that's deep, like very, very. Wike declares Guba aspirant wanted. Again, bandits kill 19 Irigwe natives in Kaduna. And then again, court adjourns hearing of Kanu's suit against FG. I think we can move over to the last paper, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, we've got Business Day, and it says Nigeria's woes worsen on oil sector mismanagement, and that's the major header on that paper. Too bad, too bad. Nigerian farmers warn as fertilizer, diesel price hikes bites. Of course, they always bite. No price hike, it's something that makes you comfortable. It bites you.
It's crazy, especially like coming to the office, doing stuff, and there's also no lights in the country, so that means you are running gen as well. So many sectors is actually affected.
It's affected.
So many things are affected. I think that's all for newspaper review.
That's all for newspaper review. Definitely, we're definitely going to be back in a short while. We're going to come with social media bars, going to the virtual street with you, with us, together. Stay tuned.
right, welcome back to Arise Africa. Yeah, probably you missed the newspaper review segments, but you're in time for the social media buzz. And yes, we are now in the virtual street. Yes, it's a good one because today we celebrate a young lady that has really done so well for made Nigeria and our family, everyone proud. Faith Odunsi, 15-year-old Nigerian student, beat China, US, UK, and other students as well in a global math competition.
You know what I love about this is that we are demystifying all the all the ideas. Look, it's not just the crazy, all the ideas that were put in our heads. Previously, everyone thought the best of everything had to come from, you know, those Western countries because they are well developed, the educational system and all that. But now we're telling them, we're showing to the world that no. If we have even a little of what you have, we're going to do far better than you. So in the midst of all the bad news, all the PR, what do they call it?
Negative
disaster, PR, you know, with regard to Nigeria, we are having this star shine. I think it's a good
regardless one. Of all. Yes. She's the how will I put it, the diamond heart of the rock right now, and we are so happy, and we actually congratulate her as well. Yeah, and so let's just see what some few persons said. At 15, Cleve Emmanuel said, at 15 I was in SS2 complaining why they had to do further math when I didn't even know normal math. I feel that Chichi is part of this guy.
I'm not going to come.
Okay, no problem.
All right, Femi Dotun Sunday says she will not get the social acknowledgement, appellations and eulogies she deserves, but let it be some naked girls looking for societal acceptance. They will get it cheaply.
And that's why I really made sure that this made the news this week, because this is worth celebrating. It's not only when crazy stuff happen in the country that we are so quick to talk about it. You see, there will be no much likes because she's not doing, I don't want to call names, you get, but
it's really appalling talking about how people react to things,
stuff like this.
Exactly.
And it's painful, and that's why
they are more attracted to
that's
superficial things.
So this topic in our show will really do justice to this, honestly. All right, and let's move on. And then it says, Sassy Queen says, kudos to Faith, kudos to the ambassador. I think that's a school, and said, I've not seen a dull student in that school. So
the importance of schools,
the school
where you have good teachers, good curriculum, all those things have to be there.
I feel the government, this is a private school, obviously. The government really needs to really do better, because at a point we heard that the government school usually brings out the best of kids back then, but right now it's no longer the case.
It's no longer the
and
case.
It's a sad one.
Wow, incredible! I'm proud of her and other Nigerian students who make us proud on a daily basis. I hope others draw inspiration from her. Miracle at Real Miracle. That's good. We're proud of her.
That's the very final one. We're very proud of her, honestly. And now we'll move over to this is actually a sad one, Chichi, and a lady, she's been missing for, I think, since April 14th. She was declared missing, Stephanie Seba Terungwa. She's an NYC student, actually. And then when she was found, she was later found recently. You see, I'm even shaking to actually talk
she was last seen on Thursday morning, the 14th of April 2022.
Wearing an NYC uniform.
Which was, at Abuja. And now, this was the announcement that was made for her being missing. But now she's been found,
she has been
unfortunately.
Found, and it was a dead body.
Not alive.
And it's crazy. It's crazy because a lot of people are not safe.
They don't know what has happened to her.
Nobody knows. Nobody knows. And
they're yet to know.
Totally crazy. So let's see what people are saying about it. Okay, I'm guessing
Okay, we've got she who must not be named. The day we passed out from camp, we were warned not to wear our NYSC uniform outside for fear of kidnapping. Even NYSC uniform is now danger to those who wear it. I wonder what the scheme is still useful for.
You get, now you know this is very serious because most of the time you are most of the core members are targets because you are seen as federal government picking. Is that
it's
part of it? So security measures.
Is it because of this incident, or there have been previous incidents like this?
A lot of the time,
that core members to look like the core members.
Most of the time, core members are targeted, and even while we're leaving camp, at the point in time, we're like telling you, remove your stuff whilst you're traveling. Make sure. At some point before now, they will always say, show people that you're a core member, but because of the security
because
situation,
that's the one I know.
Yes, because of the security situation in the country, they were like, hey, copper, come out. You get so you are not targeted. You get, because everybody sees that you are government property, you are government's child, so they want to hurt your father.
What a loss to the family.
Honestly,
what a loss to our society, because we don't know what she would have been what she would have done.
Painful.
You know, it's so sad that the country she's serving did not protect her.
All right, at Shinamote says, the girl I'm serving with knows this girl well. She said they are family friends, and she was literally crying when she saw this news. It is confirmed that she has kids. Let's hope her kid is well
taken care
of. This is really sad. God protect the serving corpers in Nigeria. You get, and that means corps members are not.
So if security is a problem, that means something has got to be done.
Big time
for this scheme to continue.
Exactly.
It has to be a major thing.
The idea for the NYSC, like I think today, or rather yesterday, some new sets passed out again. You get another set are out again to the labor favor market, as we like to call it. But we have not made proper plans, because they say, okay, you are being stoned. The idea is for everyone to get a feel of the whole of the country. Inculcate national orientation and all that, understand all these things. But now it's not working, because I cannot live here and be facing the north where there's crazy banditry and all that. So people are not safe anymore.
It has pros and cons. Like for me, you know what it means. You are exposed to other parts of the country, the cultures, you meet new people, you become unbiased in quote. But on the other hand, you have the problem of, I know a lot of students, a lot of youth corps members, they die due to roads. Sometimes they have to travel long distance. If they're in the south, sometimes they're thrown to the north, and then they have to be on the road. So many, we've seen on the newspapers, the roads are taking them, security situation is taking them. So we've got to really do something.
I think we can go on and on when it comes to this, and I think that's it.
Do we have another one there? Okay, I think that is the last of it today.
Yes, it is, and so I think that's all we can take for social media boss.
So we're going to be moving on to another segment of the show. You know how it is. It's the crux of the matter, and we're going to come in a minute. You stay tuned. It's going to be very interesting. Welcome back to Arise Africa. We've come to the crux of the matter, where we talk about what affects our society. And today, it's something you would want to identify with, and something, of course, you would want to lend your voice to. We live in our society today, we live in Nigeria, we live in the world, and we know what is happening. With respect to children, we want to pay close attention to our children today. And the topic is, are we raising kids with value? Are we raising kids with value? Recently, I saw something on social media where a little child of about 6 was smoking shisha, and the mother was the one giving the child shisha.
Applauding her.
A child twerking like her mother, following the example of her mother, and many other examples abound. So today we're going to go straight to the point, because we have a guest in the studio. He's been with us before. He's someone who is at the forefront of campaigning for the well-being of children, and that is Ambassador Deacon Ogaga Darlington Osai. He's the founding president of the Value Orientation Initiative. Reorientation Initiative. We are so delighted to have you in the studio.
Oh my goodness, thank you
Welcome.
so very much.
Great to really see you yet again.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, so straight up to the crux of the matter, like we like to call it. Who exactly, or rather, what does it mean to raise a child? What does it mean to raise a child?
Okay, I like the ring of that word, raise, because it's actually what's missing in parenting these days.
Okay.
When it comes to parenting parlance, there are 3 concepts. And the 3 concepts are child-bearing, child-rearing, and child-raising. Child-bearing means is biological. To bear a child is biological,
Yes.
but to raise the child is intentional. So you can biologically become a parent. Not all parents are raising children, but most parents are bearing children, some are rearing children. So to bear a child means to give birth to a child. To rear a child is to raise the child just the way the child wants to be raised. Why? To raise a child is to deliberately, intentionally give the child what the child needs to transform the child from just a biological being to a socially relevant being. Because if a child is not properly raised, the child will be maladjusted in the society. The child will live in the society but not be properly adjusted, meaning the child is not productive to himself and not productive to the society. So to answer your question simply, to raise a child means to convert a child from a biological being to a socially relevant being.
Okay, so let's talk about value. Like the topic is, it's all about value, raising children with value. So let's talk about what is value. What are some examples?
Okay.
Clearly.
Yes. The word value simply means something that a belief or concept that you highly cherish, that you hold dear, right? Value simply just, in other words, value means a set of belief system that you hold dear to yourself, right? So we live in a society that have the values of respect. For example, the African society generally have a value called respect. So there's this unwritten code in Africa: you must respect your elder, you must respect your senior, right? They will also have this value of respect for the human body. We have this no to nudity. It's not our value, right? So values are the things that you hold sacred in a society. The reason why values differ from societies is that what we hold sacred here in Nigeria may not be what they hold sacred in the US. So values differ from society to society. But value simply means a most cherished belief system. What defines morality by a group of people, that's what is their value.
Okay, so now, like, we're going like straight up. So it's more like a panel thing right now. So we're just straight with the questions. All right, now, one question I want to ask now, as regards to value, is why is it important? Why is value important in probably in a system or let's say as regard a people? Why is value important?
Okay, the reason why value is important is that what differentiates the animal kingdom from the human society is the presence of values. Okay, so a society without value it's a society that decimated to animal kingdom. So you are living like, well, you become like the individual begin to live like animals. Okay, it is called being reduced to the state of nature. Like we are back to the bush and stone age. Okay, so the importance of value in the society is that it is value that differentiates the human society from the animal kingdom, because value is what puts a limit to what you can do, what I can do. For instance, the value for human life, that's supreme everywhere. There's what they call the value for, but in the animal kingdom they don't have. Even I have seen in a movie when lions, they gather together and kill the leader of their breed because he was getting too weak, right? They killed him, they cannibalized him, they killed him by themselves. So what differentiates the animal society from the human society is the presence of value. So the importance of value is that the more sane you are, the more value driven you are. A person that does not have value, I keep telling my people, my children, the people, the teenagers I mentor, the more of shame you have, the more human you are. That's the more of value. There are some people, they don't have shame. They can be naked on the road and they don't care.
I'll tell you, there's a trend now that says you cannot shame the shameless.
You cannot shame the shameless. Good. And when I saw that trend, my first reaction was that we are now beginning to raise a society without value.
Without value.
If you say you cannot shame the shameless, you don't need to be shameless. You need to be sitting on the heap of dirt. That's the average madman on the road. You are eating stuff and you think you're eating salad, you're laughing, I say this part mad, and you are the one that's mad. That's what it means to be shameless. So if you say you cannot shame the shameless, what you are saying is that we're now raising a generation of people without value.
So we've got to bring the word value closer to the children now. I would like you to talk on the effect and importance of value to children. In the light of how it affects the one that has value, how it affects the one that is not taught value. So,
okay, yes, one of the greatest dilemma of our society, especially the greatest challenge of parenting in this age, is inculcating values in their children. Okay, but you see, you can't give what you don't have. So I like to take a little step backwards. I like to look at the generation of parents that we have today, right? What set of values were they raised in? I was a child came to me, a young guy came to me for mentorship. I was telling him that the mother told him that if your wife is not giving you a baby, why not impregnate any girl and bring the child for me? That's the mother of a young man that just got married, advising the son, why don't you impregnate one of these girls and bring the child? Not say you be chap man before that. Your wife will understand. My wife, I will understand. We see parents these days that buy laptop for their children and say any way is a way. You know, a parent was telling me the other day that poverty not be permitted, and then the rubber for face, like whatever you, any way you fit to make money, make money. So we live in a society where parents are valueless. They have value. Anything goes. Added to the fact that poverty is biting hard, the economy is biting hard. So people they don't define. They have no definite value. So, for instance, you don't have family value. You don't have home. You don't have value in a home. As young as my child, my son is 3 going to 4. I tell him, look at my house. Does it look like a bush? Doesn't. So you must behave like a human being. If you're in my house, it's not a bush. You must behave not like a bush boy. I'm already inculcating the value of behaving well. So I tell my son, that golden money you are eating, I bought it with money. So if you are done eating, keep it on the dining. Don't waste it. But you see, parents, some parents will tell their child, leave an as the child is wasting the food you bought with money. So children grow up in a society without values, and then the whole society becomes in trouble. Now, what is the result of a valueless child? Is what we are all suffering today. Right? So it's everywhere. You see it everywhere. You see a woman gave birth to a child, and the child is smoking. The woman is standing, and she's hailing the child. The other day I was somewhere, and they were giving children alcohol to drink. They were giving them alcohol. They were like, the children were drinking alcohol, and the parents were like, hey, that's why they drink camel. Okay? So those children grow up, they become drug addicts. Because if a child can take ogogoro at age 2, 3, ogogoro is a local gin for our international audience. If a child can take such local gin at age 2 or 3, by the time the child becomes 15, 20, the child will need times 4 of that content to become intoxicated. And before you know, the child will need something harder. So when you introduce children to alcohol very early, you are raising a generation that will become drug addicts tomorrow. So raising a valueless generation is that to raise children that grow up without fear or favor for any human being. Why the benefit of raising a generation with value is you have people like us, for instance, who are raised. I was raised by my mother alone. Okay, my father abandoned us for my mom, but because my mom had a value of discipline, my mom said, instead of giving birth to a thief, I will know that I don't have a child, so I will just kill you, right? So she would rather not have a child than have a thief as a child. So that gave us a value that stealing, if you go and tell my mom that Ogaga stole, she will tell you that's not my son. You can tell him that I fought or I did something, she will say, oh, maybe he has all temper right. But she knows that she has instilled a value in us that never take something that does not belong to you. If I go home and I bring pencil from my friend, the kind of beat my mother will beat me. I'm like, but my friend gave it to me. Said, no. Where did your friend get it from? So when you are raised with value, the benefit is that you become an ambassador of value to others. And you begin to multiply yourself. You don't need a bag of salt to influence a bag of rice. All you need is a pinch of salt. So the children with values become the salt of the earth. They become the flavor of the society. So the benefit is that you begin to generate other people that have values.
Awesome.
It makes sense because they say that a woman that's trained, that's well trained, will produce, the next generation.
Yes,
exactly. A father and a mother, a man and a woman.
No, I know.
Okay.
I'm talking about usually the focus
they
is
always
on
say
the
women.
mother.
I was going to say
meant
this.
to be the parents, not just the mother.
Exactly. Because now that will bring me to my next question.
Okay.
It's who exactly raised the child? We know we is it just the parents alone? Is it just the school? Is it just who exactly do we need to blame? Because most of the time, right now, we're hearing that a father will say, and the mama not they doing work like the way they say in Warri, and say I'm busy, so my wife is supposed to take care of the child. Then if the house fails, they'll say, oh, but I'm too busy as well. I send them to school.
Send them to school.
You
get to look for money to
exactly to make that. So who is supposed to raise the child?
Actually, in the actual African society, it takes a village to raise a child, because Africa generally is communal. If you know, we don't live individually. If you go to our villages, our houses are not fenced as it is in the city. So Africa, we are communal in nature. It takes a whole village to raise a child. But with the grace of modernization, when you come to the city, you can live, for instance, in the compound where I live, there are sometimes I may not see my next door neighbor for 2 months. We live in the same compound. Nobody traveled. But by the time I'm coming home from work, they are not at home. So we don't get to see each other for months. So we used to live in a communal society. But the society is now becoming atomistic in nature. We are now moving from the communal to the individualistic society. So right now, is everybody train your children at home? In fact, in the home, that is where you build your child. It is not the school or the church or anybody outside that should raise your child. In fact, in parenting, the school, the church, they are called secondary agents of socialization. In fact, they are even called agents of re-socialization. So it is you that are supposed to socialize your child. In fact, that word educate, to educate is from a Greek word, which is mean educare. Educare means to cultivate, to enculturate, to make somebody to train somebody to become cultured. Education is supposed to start from the house, not from the school. So the sole responsibility of parenting or raising a child is the parents. Mind you, sir, I said parents. Unfortunately, we live in a society in this part of the world where fathers tell you that it's the mother, and they quote scripture that the Bible says a wise woman raised the home. But they forget that even the book of Hebrews says every house is built by a man. So if the house is built by a man and the home is raised by a woman, that means it takes the man and the woman to raise a child. Complete. No matter how busy you are as a father, like I've said in this show earlier, you don't need a bag of salt to influence a bag of rice. All you need as a father is quality time. I don't have enough time to spend with my son money tonight like my wife does, but once I'm around, I make sure he's with me. I make sure he's in my car. I deliberately put him in the car, and then we'll drive down to go and buy fuel together. We'll drive down so that he's watching me. Yesterday he carried toothpick and was holding toothpick like cigarettes in my car. So I'm like, where did he get this from? Obviously from the school. But if he was not with me, he would have gotten that image from the school, and the mother, being very busy, may not have the time to even check and watch that he's holding toothpick as cigarette and doing like with toothpick. My son, 3 to 4. Wow. And I asked him, what are you doing? He said, Daddy, I'm using the toothpick. I said, no, that's wrong. Have you ever seen me do that? Where did you learn that from? But if I was not with him, how would I say that? So the responsibility to raise children belongs to the mother and the father.
Wow, that's well said. Well said. Thank you so much. But it's one angle I'd like you to go now, and that's because I want us to be real and to be specific. You know what I mean? We've been real so far, anyway. I want us to call out certain attitudes or things that parents, family, societies have permitted that have led to the decline that we are experiencing now in value. Because no matter what we say, if you don't go specific, sometimes some people will not understand. They do not know. So we can't say it all, but at least give us a picture of what should be the right way, what is wrong and unacceptable.
Okay, when it comes to the decline of value and how parents are missing it and the specifics, the first thing that we have seen in the society is every parent wants to be modern these days. And parents have wrong perception of modernization. To be naked doesn't mean to be modern. In fact, there's this notion I always attack in my books. When a guy gives you a compliment, you're a lady now, and say you are looking sexy, that's not a compliment, that's an insult. That is if you accept it, it means you have no value for yourself as a woman. A woman should not be sexy, because to be sexy means you remind me of sex. It means you imply that's sexy. You imply sex. A woman should be classy, not sexy. When you dress, look at how you are looking with panache and grace. That's how a woman should be. A woman should be classy, in their dressing. So we have a wrong definition of modernization. I work with school. I have schools that the parent was telling me that my son does not eat eba. What does that mean? My child doesn't eat eba. So what does it mean? My child doesn't eat beef. So the child has preference of the kind of food they eat. In a society that you cannot define where the child will live. The child is living with you today. You have money. Do you know the child will marry tomorrow? What if the husband doesn't have money as much as you do, and they have to start from scratch? Right? I remember when I first got married, my wife said, "Oh, don't eat yam that is boiled till daybreak." I said, "What? That is the kind of yam I eat. That is the original kind." So we have a wrong notion of what it means to be modern. So if I don't eat yam that is cooked till daybreak, then I'm modern. Right? So we have the first problem that we have in our society today is wrong definition of being modern. So parents have to go back to their book, their drawing board, and begin to redefine for themselves. Because these people you are following, this culture you are copying hook, line, and sinker. Most of these cultures now, they are sending some people are sending their children back home so that they can go to school in Nigeria and learn our culture. So we have run away from our culture. We have run away. A parent came to a school and was telling the school owner at a time that this one you are teaching my children to greet and kneel down. You are making them to look local. That local people greet and kneel. That mature people, real people, overseas, when you greet, you ask them, "How are you?" You shake hands with your elders, But you see, that's their value. It's not our value here, right? There are people that have gotten job at international level by genuflecting, by kneeling. They say, "I like that. That's African culture. I love it. It shows respect," right? So why we want to copy them? So when I teach etiquette in schools, I teach African etiquette, right? So the first specifics where we have missed it is wrong definition of modernization. We copy hook, line, and sinker what we see in social media. Then the second problem with parenting is children growing up in front of Nollywood. Sorry to say that. You have children growing up, you have teenagers, so they have this view of how life should be. You see in a movie where a girl will get into a supermarket, and then by the time you know it, a boy will just come after picking. The boy will say, "Can I pay for what he just bought?" And the child will just feel that if I can do my lashes, if I can dress and I can show my body, I can show myself very well in the supermarket. So you see the children growing up thinking that. And most of these movies are showing you one aspect. So you have parents having their children by their side. That's their philosophy. That's their Bible. They live their life according to the Bible of the movies. So you see a girl holding one pot named Jumaya Raputam on her head, and before you know it, a guy will just drive past, and then the guy say, "Oh, that beautiful girl, I like her," and that's it. You marry. In real life, it doesn't happen like that.
Doesn't.
So parents should teach children the difference between movies and real life. Right? Then we also have the wrong notion of empowerment. Parents believe that how you become rich doesn't matter. So a woman is asking the daughter that is not working, that is 16 years old, "Please borrow me money." From where did the girl get the money that she's going to borrow you? A child, one of the girls I mentored one of those days, the mother was telling her, "Can't you go and do what your mates are doing? You soon get into the university now."
That's terrible.
A mother. This is a girl, she was working for me. At the end of every year, I will buy yam, buy some stuff, and then give her some money and take home.
How old was she?
That girl, she was 18 then. She was 18. 18. The mother said, it's not this yam. Your sister is always bringing suya home. We are enjoying ourselves. You are not even an happening girl. That's what the mother was telling the child. So our parents are pressuring the children to deliver. In fact, there's a wrong thing that parents say that I want to correct here. That your child is your retirement benefit. It's wrong. That's not what the Bible says. Your child is not your retirement benefit. The Bible says a good man will leave inheritance for his children. You are not to feed off your children if you are a good man. You are to invest for your children. You are to marry for your child. Go and read the Bible. People marry for their children. When my child is getting married, when my child is leaving the university, I should give him a car, give him a house, right? It's not now that so parents are now living off their children. They are eating the future of their children. They are virtually cooking their children and are eating them. So these are a few of them, unless you want us to go on.
Wow.
So let's go straight now.
Yes.
Yeah.
How do you raise children?
Children.
What is the right way? Children with value.
The Bible
How do
says
you
that's
raise
basically
children with
solutions.
value?
How
solutions
should we-
now.
Exactly. Let's
The Bible
put it
says,
there.
if the foundation is broken, what can the righteous? Take note of the word righteous. That means they are righteous. They have values. But if their foundation is broken, nothing can be done. The first thing that parents should do to raise a child properly is to examine their childhood. Ask yourself, how was I raised? If you don't know the problem, see, it is worse. It is worse to have a problem and not know you have a problem. The first thing I did for myself was I asked myself, where was I wrongly parented? Growing up, I never had a father figure that showed me how a father should be. So I knew that if I get married like this, I would be a wrong husband and I would be a wrong father. So what did I do? The first thing I started doing was I started looking for fathers whose children have entered university. I started going close to them, learning from them. So the first thing you need to do, the first gift you need to give yourself to the world as a parent is not to think of correcting your child. It's to go back and ask, how was I parented? Was I parented properly? That's the first thing. Then the next thing is you need to consciously learn parenting. One of the mistakes parents make is that they believe that if I can have children, I can parent them. That's the first mistake parents make. The fact that you can buy a car doesn't mean that you can drive. For you to know how to drive, you must learn it. So parenting is learned. Now that God have given you these children, there are things you need to learn. Watch stations like this regularly. You will learn things from us. Go to the social media, Facebook, Instagram. It is replete with issues on how to raise a child. So parenting is a skill. If you must be good at it, you must learn it deliberately. There are things you need to know to parent a toddler. There are things you need to know to parent a teenager. Once your child becomes a teenager, children grow away from their parents naturally. Children grow in 3 stages. We have dependence. They depend on their parents for everything. They grow towards independence. Normally, a well-adjusted child is supposed to grow towards codependence, right? But unfortunately, because parents are not parenting their children properly, children grow to the point of independence. Parents think they are becoming rebellious. So they say you are becoming stubborn. No, the child is growing to become, because that child will get married and leave you one day. So once a child becomes a teenager, your opinion doesn't matter to them anymore. So what do you need to do as a parent? As a wise parent, you need to look for positive mentors to put in their life. Instead of being the authority, don't tell them you have made a mistake. If you need to tell your child to obey you because you are the father, something is wrong already. You are misunderstanding the developmental stage of a child. So you need to learn parenting. To raise a child with value, the third thing you need to do is that as a parent, you need to have values. What are your values? What do you stand for? Don't just live your life not standing for anything. One of the things I tell my son every day is that your father is a mentor to children. You must be a mentor to your mates. I tell him as young as he is, every day, as I drop him off at school, I tell him, be of good behavior. Don't forget, your father is a mentor. You should be a mentor to your peers. So stand for something, because he that stands for nothing will fall for everything. Okay, so there are a lot, but I think I should stop there.
True.
Unless you permit me to go on.
No. I think
Ambassador Deacon Ogaga Darlington Osai. So
Thank you
grateful
very
for your
much,
time.
sir.
You did so well.
Thank you.
You
I know.
really talked
We
at
know
length.
we can give you. Oh no.
No, it should be one hour discussion.
Probably we'll do something
We'll
about
increase
it.
the
Maybe
minimum.
we'll just probably one of these days we'll just have an Arise Africa
Yes.
parent special. People
Yes.
get to call in and all.
And
I
yes,
think we'll work
that's
out.
a good,
We'll
that's a
We'll
good
work
idea.
out something,
Wow,
then probably
thank you
work
very
around
much.
your schedule. Thank you very much, sir,
I'm
for the
grateful.
time. We are so grateful, and to you too that's watching us right now. Thank you for staying with us throughout the show. Yeah, I know we've spent a lot of time, but I know you've learned one or two. And remember that it is you that can really place that value on your child. It is how you work on yourself, like what Ambassador said. That's how your child will turn out to be. Thank you. Remember, Arise Africa is open for sponsorship. Do well to follow us on all our social media platforms as well, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Stay safe. Bye for now.
Thank you.
The Brian, the Belgian imports into Man City have signed a new contract extension with the club, making prediction Chelsea and United. It's Arsenal this weekend and Liverpool.
Zinedine Zidane knows that this is not the best time to talk about Salah. Liverpool